The Interstellar Combat Academy's training hall buzzed with the usual pre-session chatter as cadets assembled for morning drills. Daniel leaned against the reinforced titanium wall, arms crossed, watching the newest recruit with undisguised amusement. The girl Jassy, according to the roster, stood apart from the others, her small frame dwarfed by the towering Crithian and Vixorian cadets, who represented the galaxy's most formidable warrior species. "Another human," muttered Turville. "A 7-foot Crithian whose exoskeleton gleamed under the artificial lights. Command must be desperate. Soft-worlders have no place among real warriors." Daniel said nothing, but his smirk betrayed his agreement. Humans were the newest species to join the Galactic Federation, and their acceptance into the Academy had been controversial. They lacked natural armor, possessed embarrassingly limited strength compared to other species, and hailed from a death world they'd somehow survived through luck rather than capability, or so conventional wisdom held. JASSIE remained silent throughout the mockery, her dark eyes surveying the equipment with an intensity that Daniel found oddly unsettling. She didn't flinch when Instructor Jacques, a battle-scarred Vexorian, slammed his combat staff against the floor. "Today's exercise, neural combat simulation," Jacques announced, his translator rendering his guttural clicks into standard galactic. "Full immersion. Pain limiters set to 60%. The scenario is simple: survive the Korvax ambush. Most of you will fail within 3 minutes." The Korvax were the Federation's nightmare, a hive-minded predator species that had devastated 12 systems before being contained. The simulation replicated their hunting patterns with brutal accuracy. Daniel had survived 4 minutes in his first attempt, a personal record for human cadets. Turville stepped forward first, eager to demonstrate Crithian superiority. The neural crown descended, interfacing directly with his consciousness. His body went rigid as the simulation began. Through the observation screens, the class watched him engage 3 Korvax warriors in close combat. His natural armor deflected their plasma claws, and his superior strength allowed him to crush one attacker's thorax. He lasted 5 minutes and 17 seconds before a Korvax Alpha tore through his defenses. Several cadets followed, each lasting between 2 and 6 minutes. The Vexorians performed best, their natural tactical processing allowing them to anticipate attack patterns. Daniel managed 4 minutes and 43 seconds, an improvement from his previous attempt. He emerged from the neural crown breathing hard, the phantom pain of simulated death still tingling through his nerves. "Cadet Jassy," Jacques called. "Your turn." Snickers rippled through the assembly. Jassy walked to the neural crown with measured steps, no hesitation in her movements. As the crown descended and the interface needles made contact, Daniel noticed something odd. Her heartbeat, visible on the biometric display, remained absolutely steady. The simulation began. What happened next would be discussed in Academy halls for years to come. Jassy didn't engage the first Korvax warrior that appeared. Instead, she ran not in panic but with calculated precision, leading it toward a structural weak point in the simulated environment. When it lunged, she dropped and rolled, causing it to crash through corroded metal plating into an exposed power conduit. The creature convulsed and died, electrocuted by its own momentum. "Lucky," Turville muttered, but luck had nothing to do with it. Jassy moved through the simulation like water through cracks. Never where the Korvax expected, always 3 steps ahead. She used the environment as a weapon: explosive barrels, unstable platforms, atmospheric pressure differentials. When forced into direct combat, she didn't try to match their strength. She targeted sensory organs, joint articulations, and neural clusters with surgical precision. At the 6-minute mark, she had survived longer than any cadet in the room. At 10 minutes, the mockery had died completely, replaced by stunned silence. At 15 minutes, Daniel realized he was watching something unprecedented. Jassy had adapted to the Korvax attack patterns, predicting their movements before they made them. She was thinking faster than creatures whose neural processing speed was supposed to be triple human baseline. The simulation's difficulty escalated automatically. 8 Korvax warriors materialized simultaneously, an encounter designed to be unsurvivable. Jassy assessed, calculated, and acted. She triggered a cascade failure in the simulation's power grid, plunging the environment into darkness. The Korvax had superior dark vision, but she'd already moved, using the 3-second blackout to reposition. When emergency lighting activated, she'd rigged a makeshift explosive from fuel cells and compressed oxygen. The blast eliminated 5 warriors. She killed the remaining 3 in close combat, moving with a fluidity that seemed to defy human physiology. At 23 minutes and 47 seconds. The simulation ended not because Jassy had failed, but because she'd eliminated every enemy the program could generate. The neural crown released her, and she stepped down, her expression unchanged. Her breathing only slightly elevated. The training hall was silent. Shakur approached her, his translator struggling to convey the complexity of his emotion. "How?" he demanded. "Humans lack the neural processing speed for such adaptation. Your species shouldn't be capable of. We compensate," Jassy said quietly, speaking for the first time since arriving at the academy. "We're weaker, slower, less specialized than most species. So we learn to think differently. Adaptability isn't about processing speed, it's about creative problem-solving under pressure. It's about surviving on a world that spent millions of years trying to kill us." She glanced around the hall, making eye contact with each cadet who'd mocked her. "Humans don't have armor or claws or hive minds. What we have is persistence, pattern recognition, the ability to use anything as a weapon. We're the species that looked at megafauna that could kill us with a single blow and said, 'We'll outlast you,' and we did." Daniel felt something shift in his understanding. He dismissed humans as weak, but weakness and strength were contextual. In a galaxy of specialized species, humans were generalists, adaptable, creative, relentlessly persistent. Jassy turned back to Shakur. "Instructor, permission to run the simulation again? I noticed inefficiencies in my approach that I'd like to correct." Turville's mandibles clicked in what might have been respect or disbelief. Around the hall, cadets who'd laughed at Jassy's arrival now looked at her with something new in their eyes, not fear exactly, but a dawning awareness that they'd fundamentally misunderstood what humanity represented. Daniel uncrossed his arms and stepped forward. "Cadet Jassy," he said formally, "I apologize for my earlier disrespect. Would you be willing to share tactical insights? I believe we all have much to learn." Jassy's expression softened slightly, not quite a smile, but close. "Of course, Cadet Daniel. We're all here for the same reason." As the Academy's AI automatically updated its training protocols to account for the new human baseline, Shakur made a note in his report to command, "Reassess human integration protocols. Current assumptions inadequate. Species shows potential exceeding initial evaluations." The quiet new girl had spoken, not with words, but with actions that rewrote the galaxy's understanding of what humanity could accomplish.